Okay, great. So welcome everyone. And this is the EllAstrology live stream. So today I'm going to talk about different quotes that you guys might have heard about the astrology signs. I'm not going to cover all 12 signs in this week's video. The signs that I'm going to be covering is Pisces, Cancer, Taurus, Virgo, Gemini, and Scorpio. And then next week I will be covering the other signs. Now, I'm sure most of you, you've on social media, you've looked around and you've seen lots of different quotes and memes about astrology. Some of them you might find, quite true. Some of them aren't quite true. So today I've just gathered a few quotes that I think are the truest to their sign and, that are really, really relatable for the sign that the quote is about. Okay, so the first quote I'm going to get started on for today is a quote about the sign Pisces. Now, this is a quote by Linda Goodman, and I think it's a really, really good quote that describes, the knowledge that Pisces has. Pisces, I feel they've got lots of knowledge, about everything around them. And this knowledge that they have is kind of difficult to explain. But yeah, it gets explained quite well through this quote. So the quote goes, "To realize the full glory and truth about love, the fish can, if he or she chooses, call on the innocence of Aries, the patience of Taurus, the awareness of Gemini, the perception of Cancer, the nobility of the Leo, the discrimination of the Virgo, the judgment of Libra, the penetration of Scorpio, the honesty of Sagittarius, the wisdom of Capricorn, and the humanitarianism of Aquarius." Now, basically, it is said that Pisces, it's a very advanced sign, that this sign has basically experienced, all the lessons from all the previous signs in the cycle of the zodiac. And that's basically just what this quote means. Okay, great. So the next sign I'm going to talk about a quote about is Cancer. So the quote goes, "Cancer are moon children, totally influenced by the waxing and waning circles of the moon. Asking them to remain in one feeling, in one mood, or one state of mind is pure insanity." Now, basically what this quote means is, because Cancer is ruled by the moon, they are basically a lot like the moon. So the moon basically goes through the different cycles, the different moon phases, and Cancers are quite similar. So they usually, go through different kinds of moods and that kind of thing. So yeah, I just feel this is a very, very beautiful quote to describe Cancer. Now, the next quote I'm going to talk about is Taurus, and it's actually quite a short quote. This one says, "A Taurus will defend you until the very end, even if it isn't their fight." Now, this is a very beautiful quote because I feel that Taurus people are very loyal people, and they really fight and they really do a lot for their friends that are around them. So a person who's a Taurus, even though what's going on in your life doesn't affect them, if they care for you, they will, fight that fight with you, and they'll actually, be affected by how you feel and your emotions as well. Okay, so the Virgo quote goes, "Do not force anything on a Virgo. They will naturally hate anything that they did not choose to do themselves." Now, this is also a very, very good quote, I feel, for Virgos, because I'm a Virgo myself, and I'm a kind of person that I will have my entire day structured, and a Virgo is a lot like this. They will have the entire week, planned in advance. Usually they'll know exactly what they need to do, or, what they want to do and that kind of thing. And then usually when a person kind of throws their schedule out of track, they get quite frustrated, or if you actually just force them to do something that they don't want to do, you know, they can get quite frustrated and they can get quite remorseful. So yeah, I feel like this is just a really, really good quote to describe Virgo and, you know, what basically annoys Virgo. Okay, great. So the next quote I'm going to talk about is Gemini. So this quote goes, "When a Gemini is focused, nothing will stand in their way. It will be their two minds against yours, and odds are not in your favor." Now, yeah, that's a really, really good quote because Gemini people, you know, they can be quite, you know, argumentative, but not in a bad way. They're actually really, really good, you know, at arguments and winning arguments. That is usually because they've basically taken in all the possible information, you know, around them. They've basically analyzed the person, they've analyzed the situation, and they basically know, you know, just how to address the situation very, very well. And I always say that Gemini people are very, very intelligent, you know, they have an ability to think in a way that other people don't. So yeah, usually when you're arguing with a Gemini, it's very, very difficult to win because they'll always, you know, come up with some kind of response back at you that you usually won't know how to respond to. Okay, so the last sign I'm going to talk about is Scorpio. And this quote goes, "Everything Scorpio does is emotionally charged. This is an ingredient to their magic and their magnetism." Now, this is also a very, very good quote for Scorpio because I feel that Scorpio people, you know, they quite deep people and they like very, very emotional people. And everything they do in their life, they basically do it with so much emotion, so much passion, you know, and every situation that they're kind of faced with, you know, it's just all this like emotion and all this like deepness to them. And that is basically because, you know, everything they do, it's like the quote says, they're emotionally charged, you know, they feel so much emotion, like more than what most people would feel in a certain situation. So yeah, it's a very, very good quote for Scorpio. It basically tells how, you know, how deep they feel and how much they actually feel. Okay, so those are the 6 signs that I was gonna do quotes about this live stream. There's one more quote that I'm gonna talk about, and that's just an astrology quote in general. It's not a quote about a sign. So the last quote I'm going to talk about goes, "Astrology is like gravity. You do not need to believe in it for it to be working in your life." Now, I feel that is a very, very beautiful quote to describe astrology. Astrology is kind of, you know, a thing that just kind of affects us, whether we're aware of it or not, whether we believe in it or not, you know, whether we want to say, hey, astrology is not real. At the end of the day, you'll still be influenced by, you know, the characteristics in your natal chart, and you'll kind of still be influenced by the planets in a certain way. And yeah, so even if you choose to believe in it, even if you choose not to, it's still going to have that effect in your life, and it's still going to be a very, very real thing, just like gravity. Okay, guys, so that's it for this week's live stream. It's a short one. I'm going to talk about the rest of the signs in next week's live stream. So thank you guys for joining me. Definitely give my Facebook page a like. You will find the link in the description to this video. It's EllAstrology. I post all kinds of astrology content daily. I post articles, quotes, memes, just really, really entertaining stuff about astrology. If you're interested in astrology, yeah, you'll really, really enjoy it. So yeah, thank you for joining me, guys, and I'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.